Let's get right to it. Today I'm going to show you my process for publishing a package to PyPi so that I get a good, consistent result with minimal effort. A lot of today's video has to do with automating the release and publication processes and also with code quality tools that I add to all of my Python projects in order to achieve the highest quality results possible with my code. Don't forget to check out my other videos about setting up and automating your Python projects. But for now, let's focus on the end result, which is how to publish high-quality, bug-free code to Python while also making your package more discoverable to others in the open source community. I have this hobby project named Secure Logger. It's a Python decorator for generating redacted and nicely formatted log entries. It works well, but with your help today, we're about to make it even better because I just finished testing some improvements to it. So let's publish these together right now, and I'll show you my procedure. I pasted a link to the repo in the description down below, and you should be able to leverage a lot of the resources in here for your own project. By the way, there's a bunch of other repos in here as well for Python, React, Kubernetes, Terraform, AI, and more. These are the code samples from my other videos, and they're all production ready, so definitely check those out. Secure Logger is currently at version 0.1.18. I use a node package named Semantic Version to manage when to bump the version number based on the commits included in merges to main. For this reason, the version number for the project is maintained in a separate Python file named _version.py. And that way, automated CI/CD can rewrite the file without risking it messing up other things in the codebase. This is a modest-sized project. There currently are around 2,000 lines of code, of which only 300 are actual Python. The rest is documentation, project configuration, CI/CD automations, and so on, and that's pretty normal. The version we're about to release has an additional 200 lines of new code, and most of it's Python. The first thing I'm going to do before anything is run the unit test in my dev branch. These will run automatically after I push, but if I've done something galactically stupid, then it'd be nice to catch that before I push, so that I don't have to endure the purgatory of seeing corrections in the commit history to my own dumb coding mistakes from now to eternity. I'm also going to lint right now because, frankly, I'm regularly surprised about what comes out of this, and if there's anything wrong, then I'd like to know that now rather than later. We're all good, so I'm moving ahead to the pull request. It might seem weird to create a pull request on your own repo where you're the only person coding, but it's a good practice and it provides an opportunity for you to ceremonialize and document whatever it is that you just finished coding. An even better reason to create PRs is because it's easy to tie automated CI/CD processes to a PR using GitHub Actions. This batch of GitHub Actions automatically runs the unit test from inside of GitHub and also runs semantic release, which analyzes the commit messages and makes decisions on whether or not to bump the version number. I've added new features, so it's doing a minor bump from 0.1 to 0.2 right now. Cool. All of our automated CI/CD stuff succeeded, but you can see that we're blocked right now. That's because I added a branch protection rule in GitHub that requires that an authorized reviewer sign off on the code. That again might seem weird that I'd need to sign off on my own pull request, but I'm thinking big about Secure Logger, and I'm planning for the future where someone someday besides me might review and approve a PR for some amazing addition to the project. By the way, a GitHub action formally assigned this PR to me, and because of that, I got an email just now. So if by chance you create a PR for Secure Logger, then this is how I'll find out about it right away. Oh hey, one last thing about pull requests that are great is that they're basically like a small database archive about everything that's happened about this pending merge. You can review the execution history of all the GitHub actions that ran right from the PR, and that's nice. But there's also like a discussion forum that sticks around even after the PR has been approved and merged. And that could come in real handy if there are issues with the code after it's been merged. Alright, let's get to work. Here's my actual publication procedure once I've convinced myself that the code is actually ready to ship. I'm going to start by triple checking my dev branch to make extra sure that everything has definitely been pushed to GitHub. Not that I'd ever do something dumb like that, say like forget to push my last commit. Okay, we're good, so we're definitely ready to merge. linted, we created a PR which tested some more, and we made sure that nothing in the dev branch was accidentally left behind. You should do all of that in that sequence every time you're about to publish a new package to PyPi. Okay, awesome. A detail to take note of if you decide to take this approach with your project is that these magical little badges in the README don't update in real time. GitHub caches these on what seems like a 60-minute lifecycle. It's kind of annoying when it seems like your automated release process worked perfectly, but then the old version number still appears. We're straddling one version on the right sidebar, another in the README version, and still another in the _version.py file. Not to worry though, just give it about a half hour or so on average and it should sort itself out. Okay, we're ready to publish. Both the build and publish procedures are in the make file in the root of the repo. I'm not going to review these in detail in this video, but you should definitely check them out. I always try to calmly review the package homepage in PyPi. I'm looking for anything that might improve this page. I almost never read the home pages of my own packages, and so this is my opportunity to ask myself critically, does this description really make sense? Do these install instructions make sense? Would I be inclined to install this package in my project if it had been created by some person other than me? This is also when I take a close look at everything on the left-hand sidebar and ask myself, is there anything missing? Everything you see here in PyPi was generated from setup.py in the root of the repo. Okay, PyPi publication. Before I do anything, I'm going to check and see what branch I'm on. I want to publish to PyPi from the main branch since that's the code that made the release we just did. So I want to double check to ensure that I'm on the main branch and also that it's pulled. Testing and linting are easy, so there's no harm in running both of those one last time. I'll also take this opportunity to mention that my test battery in this project includes a test of setup.py itself. And that's just to ensure that there aren't any syntax errors or something else that would lead Python to raise an exception when setup.py is called from inside of PyPi. So generally speaking, this setup.py test, it's run like 1,000,000 times by the time I actually publish. The publish procedure reinitializes the entire project, including the virtual environment and the node modules, and it automatically invokes the build process each time. Nonetheless, I always run through the build one time so that I can take a closer look at the console output just in case anything odd catches my eye. Okay, that went well. By the way, that last command comes from Twine and it validates your PyPi package for you before you attempt an upload. It's actually the same code that PyPi itself runs on your package when you upload it, so you may as well run it first. And here's why I always reinitialize everything before I publish. Here's two examples of packages that updated since the last time I completely reinitialized this project, and that was only about 48 hours ago. These are just two version bumps to code linters, and so no harm done, but you never know what's updated from moment to moment, and you're better off safe than sorry. Here's another thing, speaking from personal experience. You need to code guardrails for yourself inside of Make or Bash or whatever it is that you use to automate the publication process. Publishing is stressful, and usually you're super focused on the code that you just wrote. And so the fact of the matter is that it's right at this very moment that you're at the most vulnerable in terms of making a careless mistake. If you've tested and linted and twined and you test built, then pretty much the only way you could mess this up at this point is by uploading the wrong branch. So I check for this inside the procedure itself. This code snippet echoes the text name of the branch you're on. I use this to raise a shell runtime error if the code runs on any branch other than main. Okay, with all that out of the way, the publication itself is kind of anticlimactic. But then again, that's the point. Cool, that went well. Publishing to the PyPi sandbox gives you a chance to see what the landing page is going to look like. And I occasionally do run into some weird rendering problems with README, so this is your chance to look for stuff like that and get it taken care of before you actually publish to prod. Also in this case, just as a sanity check, I was expecting to see this new line of code, and so this tells me that the package that I just uploaded is in fact the package that I thought I was uploading. Well, and of course, there's the new version number. So it looks like we're all good, and we're ready to publish to prod. At this point, this is really just like a victory lap, but just to say that we've done it, let's do a once-over to confirm the salient points. Version 0.2.0, check. Don't forget what I mentioned about GitHub caching these values. This is interesting, but even though we're on the PyPi website, the values from these badges still comes from GitHub, and so that's the same delay that I mentioned on the GitHub README. It applies here as well. And lastly, let's head back over to GitHub to see if our version numbers are sorted out yet. And yes, we are wrapped up. Secure Logger version 0.2.0 is out. Time to pop the champagne. Okay, that's it. That's my procedure for publishing to PyPi. I hope you found that helpful. And if you did, then don't forget to like and subscribe. And I will see you in the next video.